Most home sellers spend thousands of dollars getting their homes ready to list. And a lot of that money, if I'm being honest, is completely wasted. I've been selling real estate for years, and one of the most common conversations I have with home sellers is about what to fix before we list their home. And almost every time, someone has already spent money on something that wasn't going to move the needle. Not every repair gives you your money back, or frankly is just worth the trouble. So if you're getting ready to sell, or maybe you're at least thinking about it, this video is for you. And by the end, you're going to know exactly what's worth doing and what to skip altogether, so you can put more money in your pocket when you close. My name is Erin Coker. I am a realtor here in Atlanta. Hit that subscribe button and stay ahead of the real estate advice that most people never get. And when you're ready, you can book a call with me. The link is in the first line of the description below. Okay, let's get into it. The first thing I want you to skip are those minor cosmetic flaws. I'm talking about the little nail holes, the small scratches, the minor scuffs on the wall. I know it's tempting to go through the whole house and fix every little thing, and honestly, I appreciate the effort. But this is a rabbit hole that will eat your time without improving your sales price, or honestly, how fast your house goes under contract. Buyers are not going to walk away from a home they love because of a few nail holes. It's just not a deal breaker. So here's what I want you to do instead. Grab a magic eraser for those high traffic areas. Clean the baseboards, the light switches, around the door handles, and if you do want to spend a little time, focus in on the entryway. First impressions matter more than anything, and that's the one spot where a ding on the door frame or a scuff on the wall will actually register. Beyond that, move on. Okay, the second thing I want you to skip, and this is going to surprise a lot of you, are replacing the old appliances. This is one of the most common questions I get. The stove works fine, the dishwasher runs, but they're 15 years old and they're showing their age. Should you replace them? Absolutely not. The return on investment on a new appliances is just very low. And honestly, buyers tend to want to pick their own anyway. They have opinions about stainless steel versus black versus brands and configurations. You are not going to recoup what you spend. But here's what I want you to do instead, is deep clean everything. A thorough deep cleaning. And I'm talking inside the oven, get all that pizza cheese and pasta sauce that's been caked on there for months. Clean all of that. The door gasket, the dishwasher filter. All of these things can make appliances look dramatically better. And as long as everything is functional, clean is absolutely enough. Okay, the third thing to skip is replacing flooring. Trends change, tastes change, and a lot of sellers look at their floors and think they need to go. But unless the flooring is genuinely damaged, and I'm talking about ripped carpet, terrible stains on carpet that can't be taken out professionally, torn vinyl, significant wear that affects function, I just wouldn't replace it. You are not going to get 100% of your investment back on the sales price. But here's what I want you to do instead. Again, have everything professionally cleaned. And this is something a lot of people don't realize. Hardwood floors honestly respond really well to a professional cleaning. Okay, the fourth thing I want you to skip are partial room renovations. What do I mean by that? This is when you decide to renovate one room, so maybe a master bathroom. You put new tile, new vanity, everything looks beautiful, but the rest of the house hasn't been touched in 15 years. Now what happens is that gorgeous bathroom puts a major spotlight on everything else. And buyers walk in and they will start immediately adding up what the rest of the house needs to match that beautiful master bathroom. And honestly, it can just work against you. It also raises a lot of questions in buyers' minds because they start asking, why did they just renovate the bathroom? Was there a plumbing issue? Are they covering something up? And trust me, you do not want that conversation happening during a showing. Instead, do a refresh. Paint the walls or maybe pick out a really cute wallpaper. Swap out the hardware on the vanity. And if you're skilled at it, painted cabinets can breathe a lot of life into a kitchen or a bathroom for a fraction of the cost of a remodel. But listen to me on this. If you are not skilled or confident in your ability to paint cabinets, do not do them at all. Or if you don't want to hire somebody, just don't do it. A bad paint job on cabinets is way worse than leaving the cabinets alone. The fifth thing I want you to skip are minor plumbing and electrical quirks. Now, I am not talking about if there's a light switch in your basement that sparks every time you turn it on, or your kitchen sink leaks every time the dishwasher runs. Please, for the love of God, get that stuff fixed. That is not minor, and that is not an electrical quirk. That is a problem. What I'm talking about is the faucet that drips sometimes, occasionally, right? The light switch that doesn't seem to go anywhere, the outlet that might be a little loose. These are those little things that buyers honestly are not going to really care about, and it's just not worth spending hundreds of dollars for a handyman to come in and fix those things. But again, if it is major, and you will know, get that stuff taken care of before you list, because that will scare off a buyer. Number 6 is replacing the windows. Unless a window is cracked, broken, or not functioning, so meaning it doesn't open or close, don't replace them. The return on investment just isn't there, and windows are honestly extremely expensive. But here's what I want you to do instead. Clean inside and out. It's not exciting work, but it makes a real difference, especially in photos. Fix any broken hardware or locks, replace torn screens. And here's the other thing, taking screens off entirely actually lets a lot more light in. But here's the thing, don't get rid of the screens, because people always want them, especially this time of year, because you can open up your windows. So put the screens maybe stacked nicely in the garage or a basement, whatever, but just don't get rid of them. And here's the other thing that I see a lot. If the window looks fogged where the seal is broken, get that fixed, because again, that's just one of those things that always comes up on an inspection report, and 9 times out of 10, a buyer wants them fixed anyway. Number 7 is replacing the roof. I hear real estate agents tell home sellers all the time that they want them to replace the roof before they list. I'm just gonna say it, I disagree with that. Unless the roof is actively leaking, you are not going to recoup that cost. A new roof can run $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 depending on the size of your home, and it will not show up dollar for dollar in your sales price. If there's an active leak, obviously, yes, you have to address it. But if the roof is just aging and there are no signs of failure, I wouldn't replace it. List the home, disclose the age, and honestly, just see what happens. A buyer may not ask for it at all, and if they do, you can negotiate it. I will tell you, just from my experience, a credit at closing is almost always going to be cheaper than if you had replaced the roof altogether before you listed. One thing to check though before you list, clean the gutters. It sounds super minor, but a buyer pulling up to a house and seeing those little trees, the vegetation growing out of your gutters, not a good sign. It reads that the home has been neglected, and honestly, that just takes an hour to do, and it makes a huge difference. The 8th thing I want you to skip is replacing the driveways. And honestly, I don't feel like a lot of people would do this, but I feel like it's worth mentioning because almost every house I go to, I see cracks in the driveway. Cracks in a driveway are not a reason to spend thousands of dollars on a replacement. Unless the driveway is genuinely in rough shape, so meaning a car bottoms out in a sinkhole in the middle of it pulling up the driveway, then maybe I would replace it. But if it just has a minor crack that we see all the time, don't do anything about that. And honestly, buyers are used to that and it's to be expected, so don't worry about it. If you do anything, I would power wash it, because you would be surprised how much life a clean driveway can have. The 9th thing I want you to skip is a landscaping overhaul. Somehow, HGTV has convinced a lot of sellers that their yard needs to look like a magazine cover before they list. It doesn't. And landscaping is expensive. You can spend $5,000 easily and not see it come back in the sales price. And honestly, sometimes when people spend that kind of money, I can't even tell what's really been done. It just doesn't make that big of a difference. What you can do instead is trim the bushes, clear all the dead growth from the winter, edge the lawn, lay down some fresh mulch. A potted flower or two near the front door adds a splash of color without breaking the bank. Clean and tidy is the goal, not a full redesign. The 10th thing I want you to skip are full kitchen or bathroom remodels. If you are doing it specifically to sell the house, don't. You will not recoup the $50,000 or the $100,000 it's going to cost you to do those renovations in the sales price. And honestly, it's not going to make the house sell any faster either. If the kitchen or bathroom is tired but functional, paint, new hardware, updated light fixtures, those are the moves. If it genuinely just needs to be gutted, don't put lipstick on it. Just price the house accordingly. Buyers can handle a home that needs work when the price reflects it. What they can't handle is feeling like something was dressed up to hide a bigger problem. And listen, if you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to fix any of this stuff, I don't want to do anything, I want to sell my house as is, then the next video is for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you on the next one.